Hey, Nathan Daniel here for another episode of I Survived, a once weekly video show focused on positivity and perseverance. The best part about this show is you're able to submit your true survival stories to be read right here on this channel to nathandaniel03@gmail.com. If you didn't get a chance to watch it, last week I shared my survival story for hepatitis C. I'd like to thank everybody who watched that and shared their messages of support. Today, I would like to talk about bullying. It was interesting when I posted the launch video for this series. One of my longtime subscribers commented, you know who you are, and he said that he found it hard to believe that I experienced bullying in school. And it kind of made me laugh because that was one of the defining moments of my high school career, was being bullied. That's one of the reasons why I didn't like waking up and going to school. One of the reasons why I didn't go to my 5-year reunion, besides the fact that it had only been 5 years. And so it just struck me as odd. But I guess you can't really tell what a person's gone through just by looking at them. And that's a key note to this series, is you never know what people have gone through. And because of that, you'd be amazed at what people have been through and experienced. And who knows, maybe they experienced the same thing that you did, and you can learn something from their journey, and they can help you through those hard times. So, I don't know, just a comment that made me smile. And the reason why I was able to smile is because I got through it. High school ends. That's something that any younger person watching, high school ends. And it will get better. But anyway, I guess we can go backwards and talk a little bit about my experiences in high school. Something I haven't thought about until very recently. I haven't thought about it in a long time. So I guess it started, I was a weird kid. I grew up a little bit out of town, but when I was young, I didn't have many friends. I actually remember making my first friends. I hung out with my dad and his friends a lot. I grew up with them being my friends, grown-ups, adults. And I looked forward to hanging out with my dad in the garage and with his friends, and while they'd drink beer and talk about cars and whatever else. I looked forward to that. I remember my dad would, can't do this now, but my dad would take me to the bars. I'd sit on the bar stool while he'd have a drink or two after work, and he'd just bullshit with his friends, and I'd keep myself occupied, or I'd listen to them. They'd talk to me. But anyway, that made me different. And because of that, I didn't connect with the other kids the best. The first time I remember being bullied, and the kid probably didn't even realize it, but is it bullying if they don't mean to bully? I guess I don't really know. But it was 5th grade, I think, and I had a cat that decided that was always out. We didn't get her fixed. So she was always out. She was always having kittens. She had probably one school year, she had 4 litters. So for show and tell, I told. And after about the second time, I realized, well, it's weird to keep talking about your cat that had kittens, and especially since that's the only thing that you have to share. So I quit. And one day, I was talking to somebody, one of my friends, I did have them, still do, telling them that my cat had kittens again. And this kid overheard, and he asked me, he said, what are you talking about? And I said nothing, and he pried it out of me. And I remember I didn't want to tell him. I was embarrassed by it because I knew where it was going. I could already tell just by the tone. He knew what he heard. So I told him, and from that moment on, he called me Kitten Boy. And like I said, I don't think, looking back, that he knew that it hurt. In that case, I don't think he meant to hurt me, but it did. And he would call me that almost every day. And then you just have the kids, they're cruel. So a couple other people did it. Fast forward, the next real time I remember is right about the time that I was discovering my sexuality. And I still wasn't admitting it to myself at all. I couldn't possibly be gay, of course. But this girl would call me gay in front of everybody. And it hurt bad because it wasn't okay where I was from. We're from a tiny town of 3,000 people. Our high school had 700 kids total, and there was only one openly gay person in our whole school. And they were mean to him. And so she picked up on whatever, probably the fact that I only hung out with girls almost exclusively. And she'd call me gay. Every time she'd see me, she'd call me gay. Call me gay. And it hurt. I didn't ever want to go to gym class. That's where I saw her. So I failed gym. I didn't change. I sat against the wall. I wouldn't even walk around the gym. And so I failed gym. I remember one time, she was a more popular girl, and a couple of the other popular girls overheard. And, this time it was during swimming. I can't remember. I think it was water polo, probably, just because of where we were sitting. And we were sitting on the bleachers. Again, didn't change. And they had heard before everybody went in to change. They weren't swimming either. And we were sitting on the bleachers, and they told me, they said, "Don't worry about it. You hang out with all the girls. It's because they want you." And they tried to cheer me up. They didn't obviously know that I was already having this struggle internally. Another time, and because they were all the popular kids, not all of them, but because they were the cliquey, the popular kids, they'd all team up on individuals. They were all assholes, and just in general rude people. Again, not all of them, but several of them come to mind. And I remember walking down the hallway, and I felt something hit my head. And the way our hallway was, coming from our gym, there was a ground level that turned and then went upstairs. And around the turn, the reason why it did that is because there was a ramp that also went up, because the stairs were like 3-4 flights, so it had to have a ramp for wheelchair access. So I was on the ground part. I was gonna walk up the little stairs. I felt something land on my head. I reached back, and someone had spit on me. Somebody up on the ramp. I didn't know exactly who it was. To spit on somebody. How low do you have to look at somebody to make you think that it's okay to spit on them? I remember it was the first time I ever talked back to any of the people who were rude to me or picked on me, whatever, bullied me. Turned around. I said, "Why don't you leave me the alone?" And they all just laughed and kept walking. And the people walking down by me, I don't even think knew what happened. They just thought I freaked out. I was right to do. So those are just a few of the main events or the main instances that I remember from being bullied in high school. It was constant though. It was a little here, a little there. It was to the point where I didn't even want to get out of bed to go to school in the morning. But it's been so long now that those are the real key instances or scenarios that I can even remember. I didn't ever get beat up. It wasn't physical bullying. It was all emotional. And so, like I said, I didn't go to my 5-year reunion. I actually had a friend who was in the same situation. Didn't get along with the majority of our class for similar reasons. They didn't even go to our graduation. It's just so terrible. And schools do awareness campaigns now, and they try to end it and put an end to bullying, and that's great. But there's people watching this probably right now, kids who do or have experienced bullying or currently are. And the only advice that I have, other than fight back, is, as terrible as it sounds, is to just take a breath and suck it up. It won't last forever. And one day, you won't be in high school. And the best part is, neither will they. And life's gonna knock them down a few pegs. I was at an event a few weeks ago and having a great time. We were really enjoying ourselves. And then one of the kids that I didn't have the most fond memories of showed up. Just the one. But as you grow up, you learn to pick your battles. And so we ended up hanging out, talking. And later on, when we sat around the fire, it was me, my high school friends, and then basically this guy didn't hang out with us at all in high school, was the opposite of the kind of person we would have hung out with. And he said that he's grown up and realized that it's pointless to be a dick to people, and that it's easier to be nice. And as soon as he said that, every notion or every bad feeling I might have had towards him went away. Because he grew up. We all do. But you hope. And life knocks you down. And that's what this whole series is about. Life is hard. And it's hard for everyone, even the bullies in high school. And if they're smart, they'll come around and they'll learn. And one day, you might be at a party and you might be able to enjoy yourself around them. So, unfortunately with bullying, I don't know how to make it stop. I don't know how to fix it. I only know what I did, and that was hate it. And let it give me complex about myself and my own self-worth. But you can't let it do that to you. You have to know what you're worth. You have to know that you have to know that you are human and you are worth more than that. And as long as you know that, no one can take it away. And you stick it out, you get out of high school, and it gets better. As terrible as it sounds waiting, but it gets better. And their opinions of you don't matter. What they did to you will seem less significant over time. And you'll be able to look back and say, yeah, they treated me like dirt, but I got through it. I'm stronger for it. And now, look what happened to them. Hopefully for their sake, they didn't keep going through life like that, because life doesn't work like that. You can't do that in the workplace. You can hardly get away with that in college. So they'll learn. Unfortunately, they don't learn until after they've taken their toll on you. Yeah, that's my bullying story. And it's funny, because any of the older people who are watching that went through bullying, I'm sure you feel the same way. At the time, it felt like it was the worst thing in the world. Like, nothing could ever be worse than what was happening to you right then. And I mean, being spit on was pretty shitty, and I mean, being beat up is different. But being verbally bullied, now looking back, I've been through so much worse than the things that they called me. And if you push through it and you get to this point, you'll feel the same way. What they did to you was nothing at all compared to the things that you'll be able to endure. So that is my story of how I survived bullying in high school. If you've ever experienced bullying, leave a comment down below. If you would like to share your bullying story for other people to hear right here on this channel, send me an email to nathandaniel03@gmail.com. It's on the screen, but it's also down in the description below. I want to hear your stories of survival. I want to hear what you've gone through. I want to share it with other people, because if you went through it and you ever thought, wow, how am I ever going to get through this? Chances are somebody right now is going through the same thing and they feel the same way. So if we can share these stories, we can get them out, we can reach people, we can let them know that they're not alone and that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this series. If you didn't watch, over the weekend I posted a series of informational videos surrounding hepatitis C and honor a World Hepatitis Day. If you haven't already, click in the upper corner of your screen and go watch those videos. Share those videos with your friends. The goal is to eliminate viral hepatitis, a silent killer that affects 325 million people worldwide. Our goal is to eliminate it by 2030, end it completely. So if you haven't already, go watch those videos, share them to your social media page. If you never share another video of mine, make sure those are the ones you share. If you don't already, you can follow me on social media. I'm at Nathan Daniel on Twitter, at NathanDaniel03 on Snapchat, Instagram, everywhere else. Thank you again for watching. And until next Wednesday, remember, be loud, be heard, but most importantly, be yourself. See ya.